So I told God no, even though I was clear in my heart that He had spoken to me. I'm right in the middle of service, and there was a missionary on stage being interviewed by the pastor who was asking for donations, and I knew God told me to give everything that I had in my wallet. But I was recently married, and I was saving up a couple $100 to be able to buy contacts that were necessary for my job, and it took me a while to get there. And I told the Lord, "Nah, I'm good." And the offering container went right by me, and I know the Lord told me, and I was like, I'm not doing it. And it went by, service was over, and I could just feel the weight that I had missed God on my shoulders. I'm walking down the hallway of the church, and I said one of those prayers, you probably said it too, where you were like, okay, God, if that was really you, could you just maybe give me another sign if that was you? And at that exact moment, the missionary walks right by me and goes, hey, how's it going? And still I was like, that wasn't the Lord. That wasn't Jesus. That was just a coincidence. And again, all that guilt just rained right on me again. So I'm walking a third time. I'm like Peter. A third time I'm walking to my car, and I say the exact same prayer. God, I don't know if that was you or not. Just give me one more sign and I'll obey. And right then, the missionary walks right by me and goes, hey, see you around. Have a good Sunday. And you know what I did? Nothing. I went right to my car and sat down and did not obey. And I'm sitting in my front seat, and I knew I was missing God. I knew that I told Him no, and that He was prompting me to do it. And it got too unbearable for me. So I actually got out of my car and I began looking for the missionary, and they were driving through the parking lot. So I ran up to their car while they were driving, and I knocked on their window and startled them. They were like, ugh, understandably so. And I was like, could you roll down your window? And he did. And I opened up my wallet and I looked at the contacts that I so needed, but I gave him the money and said, God told me to give you this. Big smile on his face. He was super grateful. He drove off. And I didn't feel necessarily any better because I didn't know what the answer was going to be. But that week, somebody came up to me and said, God told me to give you this blank check because you needed to go buy something. You need some contacts. So I did it. And in that moment, I felt like, duh, of course God is going to take care of me in these moments. So I was able actually to get more contacts for my job than I even was going to be able to get to begin with. And I think 1 Corinthians 4:2 really became true for me in that moment where God is looking for stewards that will be faithful. And I realized that was not my money to begin with. And God just maybe, God was trying to set me up to give me more than what I could provide for myself. So if you feel like you're being hesitant or you're saying no to God on some things, I encourage you, He knows how to take care of you. Maybe He's wanting to release some things in His hands when we're able to release some things in our own.